All right, in today's video, we will do the back brakes on this 2007 Toyota Tundra. This will apply to 2007, 2009 Toyota Tundra. We're going to do the back pads. As you saw in my video, I did have a brake light issue. Kind of came on the dashboard there. And we refilled the reservoir back up. So it's up to par. As you can see, it's almost about that line. Like I said, I didn't want to max it out because when I put the back brakes back, and when I compress the calipers back, it'll push the fluids backwards into here. And show a little pro tip without bleeding the line. You can do this without bleeding the line, and I'll show you that. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna change out the back brakes since it looks like it needs some work, as you saw in my last video. So yeah, looks like it's rubbing a little bit, and there's some padding left, but might as well change the whole thing. I know these rims are ugly. Comment below, ugly rims. All right, let's get started. All right, to get started, what you want to do is safety first. You want to chalk the wheels. So I chalk the wheels on this one right here. 1, 2. And like I said, we talked about that pro tip. So you want to just, take this cap off. So when you close the caliper, it'll return the fluid that's in the line back here, because the pad and the new pad will be thicker. So that's the reason. Crack this open, kind of like that, and just leave it kind of covered like that. So that way no dirt gets in between there, but it's just loosey-goosey. I have it on a floor jack here. I bought this from Walmart. I think it's like $200. It's a 4-ton jack. So it's more than enough to hold up the, it's a 1/4 ton truck, not a 3/4 ton truck. So that's what we'll do. 22 millimeter. We're going to use an impact wrench, take those off, and then we'll keep continuing. Just give yourself a measure of safety. Floor jack here, just in case. Safety, safety. So off camera, I have the tire underneath the frame, just in case something happens right there. Always can never be too sure. Always safety. So next we'll take off the caliper. So you don't need the caliper bracket, you just need to take off the caliper. So this needs to swivel up or take the whole thing out. And these are 17 millimeters. Break it up. Just two 17 millimeters here and here. I'm going to remove those. So lefty loosey. Careful not to rip these boots. Just be gentle. If you want, you can apply some more grease back in here. But these calipers, I believe these are brand new. I did change them out. I think I got it from Amazon. Doesn't look too bad. I may grease them back up to put some more grease back in the boot there. So just take this off. We're just going to pry them with a flathead. Careful about this brake wire, so you want to be gentle. Just like that. This should sit right about here. If you, just for safety, you want this to rip the brake wire, you can put a metal string and tie the ear so that way it doesn't fall. If it does fall by accident, it won't go anywhere. Kind of looking like this. As you will. So let's take a look at the pads, and it's pretty bad. That's why the light came on in that video I showed you. So yeah, pads are pretty much gone there. I'm just gonna take these pads out. Just remember how it goes. Oh yeah, these pads are gone. So this side has nothing, no nubbies, but you can see, pretty much gone. Strangely enough, it didn't set off any of my sensors. Sensors being the scratch thingy. It's not a real sensor, it's not like a BMW. Yeah, I already check out that video on how I did the brakes on the BMW X7 on a 2020 X7. I think 2019, 2022 X7, all the same. So strangely, this did not set off any kind of padding. These pads should have some kind of scratch thing where it'll make a lot of noise when your pads are almost gone. But this is not. So I know with the front calipers, you have a little metal piece that sticks out and kind of scratches the rotors, makes a scratching noise. That way you know it's time to change your pads, but the back does not. So we do need to change them. You can see pretty worn out there. So these I got from my local automotive place. It's a Duralast Elite. Supposedly it's the premium one. I figured I'd give this truck to my son. I'll use the premium brand for him. He has some new hardware. We'll probably use new ones and pop these off, give him new ones. So these pads don't really matter which way it goes because they kind of look the same, right? You agree? They're all the same, in my opinion. First things first, we got to close the caliper back. I'll show you. See how much is sticking out. See how much that's sticking out? You're gonna have to close this all the way until it's flush with this thing here. This is the caliper cylinder. So this has to be all the way flush to this thing here. So this has to close all the way. I'll show you a special tool for that. I got that from Amazon. All right, here's the tool. I believe it's like, I don't know, 40-50 bucks for this thing. Get it from Amazon. It expands as you ratchet your way out. I may not be able to do it because it's too open. So another pro tip is you can use a pair of big pliers and kind of compress this down a little bit to kind of help it away a long way before we start. Just to help it along. Then we'll close it up with the special tool. There it is. It does most bulk of the work here. And I'll show you how much it goes back to the reservoir in a second. Hey, maybe we don't need that special tool. All right, here's the tool. I believe it's like, I don't know, 40-50 bucks for this thing. Get it from Amazon. It expands as you ratchet your way out. I mean, not be able to do it because it's too open. So another pro tip is you can use a pair of big pliers and kind of compress this down a little bit to kind of help it away a long way before we start. It's pretty much closed all the way. That tells me this caliper is pretty new and pretty fluid. If it doesn't go back, that means your new caliper, because basically this is seizing up. It should be that easy to with this pair of pliers. Let's take a look at the reservoir. Not much flush there. That's what we talked about. But if you were to use this tool, it'd be this idea. In here, and you just crank away and open. Close the whole caliper. So let's go look at the reservoir, see how much has gone back. Well, a lot has gone back. Look at that. Just from me compressing one side, so imagine the other side. So to avoid the inevitable, I'm gonna put some paper towels around this thing because this will overspill, and you don't want brake fluid spilling all over the place. So it's corrosive. Let's do that. Okay, here's the setup. I put a paper towel underneath. I put a slit in a rag and put it around the neck. You can see the fluid's already coming up. That's only one side of the caliper. So prevent the spillage by just protecting the whole area. That way, if I do have overspill, it'll be okay. Again, I'll just put this cap back, just kind of like so. It doesn't seal anything. Just there, that lets me know I won't get any debris into that reservoir. Again, we'll give it some new hardware. Again, these are aftermarket, so they're not perfect. I'm going to pull the tabs. This tab's kind of crooked. I'll bring it up to the camera. See, that's kind of crooked. You can see that. It's kind of bent that way. So we'll use a pick I got from Amazon also. Not affiliated with Amazon. Sorry, I don't have a store. That seems pretty snug there. And it's not touching the disc. So you can see I may able to put that pick in there with no problem there. Do the second side. Okay, new hardware's in. We're going to pop in the new pads. Like I said, this doesn't really matter. If it was the front caliper, brake pads, it would matter, but not as much as this. Just line them up and just snap it in. It should just pop right in. This one too. Look at that. Our hardware's in, new pads are in, so that's all set. I did say I'm going to grease up the pin boots for these with some, it's probably not the right one, the crown below. I'm going to use high temp grease for this because the caliper does get hot when you're braking, so I might as well use it. And we'll grease up the back of these. I don't know, what do you guys think of the idea of greasing the back of these pads? Supposedly stops the squeak, but that's what we'll do. Some brake parts lubricant. This is from Preston. Slap some on there. You know, like so. Nothing crazy. We'll do the same thing on the back. We'll, you know, put some in the back of this. Let's slide this caliper back in. It should slide right in like butter. Make sure those boots don't get compressed as you bring them in. There it is. We'll wiggle that around. And then what we'll do is when we actually get in the car, we'll close the reservoir and pump the brake a couple times, and then you should be that. That's a way of doing things without having it bleed it. So that's that. Let's throw some high temp grease in there. Again, this means not the correct way to do it, but don't do what I do. I'll lube this up real quick here. And we can put some anti-seize on here too if you want, just for giggles. Anti-seize here makes life easier when we work on cars. Never ever put anti-seize on lug nuts. Don't do that. Wrong mistake. That's one. Let's put this in. We'll line it up with the boot. Sorry, my head's in the way. There we go. Now we're in. You know, just line everything up. We'll torque everything down. So the spec, what I'm looking at is 30 foot-pounds. Some say 40, some say 20. So whatever fancy you. That's gonna stay there. We're gonna do the top. Same exact thing. I'm gonna loop this up some high temperature grease. And we'll lube up the thread with anti-seize. Just a little bit, nothing crazy. Because I think I remember this is brand new, so this should be good. It's been on there since 2007. It's pretty new. I think I got it from Amazon. Let's straighten up the boot. Looks like it's kind of crooked there. Otherwise, it's not going to go in. It'll find its way. There it is. As Rob Ross would say, go to your happy home. Just snug it up with your fingers, and then we'll torque everything down too. Good there. And we'll torque it up. 30 foot-pounds. That's what we want. £30 You try 40. What do you guys think? Let's go to 40. Why not? 40. Go big, go home, right? Righty tighty. Yeah, 30 and 40 is the same. All right, that's it. That's this part. We'll put the wheels back and I'll show you how to do that. So I removed the jack stands, so I'm left with just the floor jack. You put lug nuts on, you want to go in the star pattern, so kind of like that. It should look like this. The reason you want to have your wheels even against the hub and it's still off the floor. So this way, diagonal, all right across from each other. I'm just going to snug it up with the impact wrench. So put the weight of the truck a little bit barely on the tire, and then we'll torque it down to 80 foot-pounds. So the weight of the truck is on the tire, it's enough for me to torque it down. 80 foot-pounds. Against star pattern, so you want to be across from each other. All right, that's one side, so I won't film the other side. The opposite side is the same exact thing, so I won't film that part. So you get the idea. All right, once everything's all put back together, I want to close this up. And it looks like nothing came out much, so you can see, still pretty good there. So we're gonna disregard this off. So I did that so the lint won't go inside of this. Just a good towel. Let's check our level. Again, the best way to check our level is to shine it from the opposite side. See where maxed out the top, right about here. So good. So we'll pump the brake a couple of times in the back to let the calipers recontact with the surface of the rotor. Take it for a test drive. All right, we're back from our test drive. Everything worked out perfectly. Again, this is how we changed the brakes on a 2007-2009 rear pads for Toyota Tundra. Easy peasy. Cost us, I don't know, 70 bucks for the premium pads, and then about a couple hours of labor. With filming, it makes it harder. So that's why it took a little while to do the filming part. But I really appreciate you guys. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, stay tuned for content like this by doing it yourself, saving some money in the long term. The big threes: houses, cars, and food. We can't do anything about food, but we can do something about our cars. So we can do this ourselves. Appreciate you guys. We're on our journey to 1,000 subscribers. Maybe I'll do something special when we hit 1,000 subscribers. Stay tuned. That's the only way you'll know.